The Oak Orchard River in western New York offers the chance to fish for several species of trout and salmon. And when it comes to big brown trout, it's world class.
I've been coming here for 25 years. And really nice brown trout.
We've been fishing this since the mid-'80s. And what makes it special for me is the incredible size of the brown trout that we get out of this river.
Most people come here to fish for the world-class brown trout that are here.
Nothing else.
Some of the fish can be 15 to 20 pounds and be from anywhere from 31, 32, 33 inches long. World-class. I mean, they're just, there's only like 5 places in the world, and this happens to be one of them where the brown trout get that big, and it's because of Lake Ontario. Lake Ontario is 600 feet deep, and it's cold, cold water in the bottom of it. And, you know, they spend most of their life in the deep water, and they come up in the fall to spawn.
In early November, I visited Orleans County, New York, where the river winds about 2 miles downstream from the dam and Waterport to Lake Ontario at Point Breeze. I spent the night at Lynn's Landing, one of many businesses in the area that cater to anglers. But I started each day at the Archers Club of St. Mary's with local angler John Denniston.
I've been fishing the river since 1950. I was 10 years old. When I first started fishing here, it was all bass fishing. And smallmouths down below the dam, largemouths above the dam. And then in the late 70s, early 80s, they started stocking the salmon. And that went on for a few years, but then they started stocking more brown trout and steelhead, which is really what I fish for down here. There is world-class brown trout. The biggest one I've caught is 17, 18 pounds, was like 32 inches. This was my playground all my life down here, so it still is.
Yeah,
Steelhead.
That's a steelhead?
Nice steelhead, yeah. Ain't very big, but it's a nice one.
In November, most anglers on the river are targeting the browns, but there's a good chance you'll hook into other fish as well.
You have the opportunity to catch 5 different species of salmon or trout in this river. The king salmon, the cohos, the Atlantic salmon, and the brown trout, and the steelhead starting the end of September till April.
Give me a hand, man.
Absolutely.
Although the river can get crowded, when a fish is on, neighboring anglers always seem ready and willing to help land it. In this case, a huge steelhead.
You are my best friend, man.
Oh my gosh, that's nice fish.
I fish here all winter, so we'll fish till April in this stream. It doesn't freeze because of the dam, and it's actually really peaceful. You come down here in the snow, and it's a nice place to be in the winter, you know. And you saw the fish. I mean, that's outstanding. So you can't beat it.
Hot diggity dog.
Thank you so
I got a
much.
bunch of them on it.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Awesome.
While almost everyone around us was hooking in the big browns, I think it's an Atlantic. I've never seen a brown jump like that. John and I were catching everything but browns. In terms of diversity, I was having a great trip, hooking into a fine Atlantic salmon, a couple of feisty steelhead, and a big post-spawn king salmon. The kings, also known as Chinooks, eventually die after spawning. The proverbial zombie salmon.
Yes.
He's dead, he just doesn't know it yet. All spawned out.
Oh, yeah. The whole river changes every year after the spring thaw with the ice and everything. My nephew and I walk the river and find where the holes are because he's a guide. So we want to know where the good fishing is.
As luck would have it, we stumbled on John's nephew, Brian London of Oak Orchard River Guide Service. He had 2 clients from Rhode Island, and like all good guides do, he had them on the river before sunrise to stake out a choice location.
We started at about 3:45. So you get up early and you see what you get up early for in a matter of minutes. I think we hooked up on a fish maybe 20 minutes after we started fishing. I do full day guide trips for brown trout, steelhead, and king salmon. I'd say we had a pretty successful morning so far. Yeah. We've had several hookups and several landed trout. I caught probably half a dozen fish this morning so far. That I landed. I probably hooked up 10. My father had as many fish, if not more.
Fish. All right, fellas. That thing just refused to budge. I thought I was on the bottom. After spending the better part of a day and a half breaking off several huge browns, I finally set the hook on what appeared to be an average oak orchard fish. But even it was almost more than I could handle. What do I do now? Pray? With a down tree between me and the fish and a swift current working against me, landing this brown wasn't going to be easy.
Can you get your rod under everything? I don't think you can get under there. Oh my God. Yes, he is gonna. I can't believe he did that.
Sorry, fellas. Once we were all on the downstream side of the tree, we stood a much better chance of netting the fish.
Just keep the rod tip in toward the bank.
Please, please, please let me land this fish.
Hold it right there.
What a fish. You see him, John?
Keep him coming.
Please, please, please do not break, please. Oh, God. 7 minutes went by from hook set to net. It may not have been graceful, but it certainly was exciting.
Thank you.
I have never had a trout take me under a log before. What this guy did.
There you go. Beautiful.
What a beast. What a beast. It's hard to believe that browns this size and even larger are routinely caught on flies smaller than a dime. But that's the case on the oak.
The fishing flies that we use here are mostly egg patterns. And it depends on the clarity of the water, the depth of the water, and if the fish are spooky, which size hook you use. We start out at number 10s, and we may go down to 12s and 14s. But they're 2X hooks, so they're pretty strong hooks. They don't bend them. And if you hook them in the jaw, you're going to land them. That is about maybe an 8-pound brown trout. Male, nice hook jaw up here.
Big
Kite. Beautiful fish for the Oak Orchard River.
But here's the scary thing. This is probably an average fish.
That's
Close?
That's a little small.
A little small. You're killing me, man.
No.
So these ones that are breaking me off are on the big side.
Yes. There's about 10 here.
Let me get them in the
It's
water
about 20 inches long.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I mean, not
Yeah.
much more than 20 inches long.
Yeah.
But
that's
girthy as
a
can
really,
be.
really nice fish.
That might be my best brown from a river.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a nice fish.
Oh, yeah.
While the browns can get as big as 18 to 20 pounds on the oak, I was happy with a relative dink by comparison. If nothing else, it gives me a good reason to return. And while John and I released our fish, there were plenty of anglers who kept 1 or 2 for the grill or maybe a skim mount. You don't have to be an experienced angler to catch a world-class brown on the oak, but you'll definitely up your odds if you spend time with a guide or someone who knows the river. If catching a trophy trout is on your to-do list, then you owe yourself a visit to the Oak Orchard River. I know I'll be back.